And record. Okay. Once again, Waggle Swami.
What up, E-Money?
And we are going to discuss Wandavision. Did I say that right? I feel like I slurred my
I
words.
said WandaVision, but it's okay. It'd be like that sometimes.
I won the wish on that Infinity Stone to get my robot boyfriend back.
I mean, so here's the thing that because I remember I watched the trailer and then I also saw Jeremy John's review on it, and I don't know if what he's talked about in the review was accurate or not, but I know he said something about it taking place in between Infinity War and Endgame. I need to look into that to see if that's actually true, because I honestly thought that this was going to take place after the events of Endgame. And this would be one, because it would, to me, it would make sense that it take place after Endgame, because, to be fair, Wanda didn't have time to
make a whole illusionary landscape for herself between being dusted and losing the love of her life.
To be fair, that too, but also she didn't really have the time to like grieve Vision like that. To be fair, between the time Vision died and Thanos got to him, that was like what? He slapped her out of existence. That was like what? 2 minutes? 2 minutes is not enough time for shit.
The first thing that happened when she came back, war.
She immediately battled. That's what I'm saying. So like, she didn't have like. I feel like it would make more sense if this took place after Endgame. Again, it might, because I need to go back and fact check, double check, make sure what he was saying was accurate.
Because remember in the comics, like all the people that Thanos snapped away, they were in the Soul Gem, if I remember.
That's what they said, but that was never actually confirmed.
No, I'm saying in the comics that happened. That's what happened.
Oh, in the comics. Okay.
That's what happened in the comics. So maybe this is going to elaborate upon that and say like, and they're gonna go like using this as a stepping stone. Going like, oh yeah, she was in the Soul Gem and she used her powers in the Soul Gem to make a whole landscape for herself while being in the Soul Gem. So they might do that.
The other thing I feel like they could also do with it is that, again, if this took place after Endgame, Wanda could have gone into a magically induced coma, and this could all be happening in her head.
Yeah.
And then again, this could still lead into no more mutants. Not exactly.
I've already this and that. Like, okay, we've talked about this, and this is our fan theory, but elaborate for the people. I feel like most people already anyone who reads comics has already come to this conclusion, but just for the normies out there, just elaborate this little fan theory that a bunch of us have come up with.
So basically, the theory is that because in the comics, Wanda Maximoff,
House of M. You gotta say this.
Yeah. In the House of M comics, Wanda Maximoff, she pretty much had it with the whole what was going on with mutants, because in the House of M, mutants were like 80% of the world, if I remember correctly.
No, she took. What you're thinking about is how many mutants she took away. She took away like 80% of all.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So in House of M, with the mutant that was ruling, she I think the mutants were what was it that happened to her that made her make the wish? Basically, what happened was someone pissed off Wanda, and Wanda was not having it anymore. So Wanda, with her immense mutant magical abilities, was like, no more mutants, and creating a cataclysmic blast that wiped away majority of the mutants. And I think was it the main continuity or the Ultimate Universe?
No, the main continuity. And they were like killed, but like their powers were
nullified. Yeah, she didn't kill mutants. She just removed their powers.
So like an example, like Blob, everyone loves going to this comic book panel because it was a great example.
Didn't Blob just turn into like a mush?
Yeah, he became an incredibly saggy man. So Blob is a mutant he has like elastic fat. If I remember, like I don't remember the exact description of his power, but like he has very he has absorbus fat or whatever, and that just disappeared. So he just had skin just hanging off of bones, basically. And he was just a very saggy man. And a lot of mutants, like, oddly enough, most of our heroes retain their powers.
Oh, who would have thought? Yeah.
What are the odds?
But the fan theory, however, is that although that's how it was in the comics with the mutants being removed, if they did the No More Mutants spin in MCU, rather than having that be a way to remove mutants, it could be a way to introduce mutants into the MCU. She could be the gateway.
There's that one comic book elite is like, oh, these plebs think they're clever. I thought of that ages ago.
Well, congratulations for the 16 people who decided to push up their glasses when they heard this conversation. Be proud of yourself. Hooray. Anywho, like, but that's kind of just like the fan theory or the hope that's what happens because, I mean, with Marvel's purchase of Fox, some way, shape, and form, mutants got to be introduced into it. And right now, I think the best and dopest way to introduce it is to use Wanda as that gateway to bring them in, because it'll be a foil to how Wanda was the gateway for them to be removed.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping for, and that seems like the most likely way that Kevin Feige and his team can probably do that. And, and I'm not gonna lie, I just want X-Men in there for the next big Marvel event. Did you also hear that apparently in Phase 4, Kang the Conqueror might be the next big baddie?
I've been hearing that a lot lately. They say it's gonna be Kang the Conqueror, the same Kang the Conqueror that be just shifting through time, conquering shit.
Yeah, and also the same Kang the Conqueror, who's an ancestor of Reed Richards, or no, descendant of Reed Richards. So I'm like, so is that basically confirmation?
Fantastic Four thing.
Here's how I thought originally they were going to do that. Namor was going to be in the second Black Panther movie, and then Namor
he still could be.
It wouldn't be the same, bro.
I know it won't. I know for a fact it won't. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still a possibility.
It is, but
the best way to introduce Namor is either Black Panther or Fantastic Four. We don't have the Fantastic Four.
It would have been T'Challa, and just like R.I.P. to Chadwick, bro. But
rest in peace, man. That shit is it's gonna be a minute before that like normalizes and kicks in. Be like, okay, he's gone. Like that shit is still felt.
But like that would have been a dope, like, because Namor and T'Challa in the comics, they are at each other's throats almost constantly.
Didn't you say like Namor flooded Wakanda because he's a dick? Oh my god.
And that one throwaway line they had in Endgame where
it was such a small thing, but like everyone that heard it was like, Namor.
It's like there's quakes.
There's quakes. There's underwater quakes. Like, or I remember we were in the theaters and we heard that one. Clearly, that could be an easy throwaway line. Doesn't mean a damn thing. As soon as you hear Wakanda and underwater, everyone who knew about Namor started freaking out.
Yo, let this be a thing. Please, Disney, you've been giving us everything we want. Just let me have this.
And to be fair, Namor could also be, isn't Namor also a mutant?
Yes, he is.
So that can be another way that he gets introduced with, and it just ties it back into the whole WandaVision thing, because that's another person that can be pulled into this universe with Wanda being the gateway.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
If this theory were to happen, it would not be in WandaVision. It would be in Doctor Strange in the Realm of Madness.
Have we heard any more word? I didn't.
But what we do know is WandaVision leads into that movie.
I'm ready for that movie. That's all I know.
Oh, I'm ready. See, before the rated R movie that we were waiting for was New Mutants, then that came out and whatever. Anyway. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Doctor Strange in the Realm is either rated R or just like a hard PG-13.
Here's my thing. I kind of want rated R, because I feel like you can do a lot with a hard PG-13. I feel like that's probably why the New Mutants sucked as much as it did, because it wasn't rated R. It was a hard PG-13.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Marvel. Horror doesn't have to be gore, so there's still a lot that they could do as a horror aspect with PG-13.
I feel like gore adds a lot to it. That might maybe
Gore, don't get me wrong.
hard.
Gore adds to it, but it
because when you see like a dismembered body, it's just like, oh, then it hits. Like that's always the moment in a horror movie.
I feel like, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're gonna go.
Now I know this shit is real. Like
I feel like they're gonna go more in the realm of just Eldritch Abominations than like blood, gore, and dismemberment.
I feel like one of the Eldritch Abomination has to annihilate a being at some point, and the
annihilation and death. Don't get me wrong. Annihilation and death will play a part, but like actual dismemberment and gore, unless it's rated R, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. We might need some of that. Disney might need to.
Here's the thing: it could still be good. It's just you would feel the lacking of it. Like this is a good movie, but if they did X, Y, and Z, it'd have been better.
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna end up being. I personally think the movie's gonna be good regardless.
But I don't know. The trailer itself, it looked interesting. Like it has. I'm not sure. How would I describe it? So it's almost kind of surreal kind of feel to it, and I'm looking forward to it because it's like a kind of trippy story that they're looking to tell. Like someone whose mind is like collapsing, like who's drifting into madness, and and
that's what I'm saying. It's like she's like a realization is starting to fold over her.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, this would be something over Endgame because this would be a Wanda who's just like still processing Vision's death.
Yeah.
And in her mind, Vision ain't dead yet.
So I'm just like, as long as Disney can bring that and they don't stray away from like the darker thing, like accepting a loss isn't something that's like a PG kids fantasy. Like there's a lot of like
they're gonna show her at her lowest.
They have to, yeah.
Because in order to accept a loss like that wasn't just, she didn't just lose like a friend or a lover. Like she lost a piece of herself. Like
for the second time.
They're going to strip her down to her bare, to like her inner, like who she is on the inside, in order for her to be able to actually be like, okay, he's gone, and now I need to start healing. Because you can't just be like, oh, Vision's gone, phooey, I'm all good now. Nah, yo, doesn't work that way. If I'm just thinking, what happened when Vision died in the actual comics?
What happened? No, because the thing that set off
was it even Vision? Because
no, the thing that set her off was it was a culmination of things. Magneto was doing some fuck shit. I think one of the main impetuses of it was she had, the phantom pregnancy and the fake kids that she had, and they were just like, yo, he's a robot with no working genitalia. There's no way you can.
There's no way that those are his kids, which means there's no way you gave birth.
Yeah. So like comic books happened, they faded out of existence. She lost her mind splintered, and then the House of M happened. And then
after House of M, she was like, okay, no, I can't. This can't continue forward.
Yeah. No more. Exactly. So,
as a matter of fact, if you really want to get more information on that, literally just type in "No More Mutants" and have fun. You're gonna get flooded with information.
I feel like there's a comic story where he just goes through the entire
I'm
thing.
almost positive there's a comic story when he talks about that, because that was a huge major event.
Oh yeah.
Like they reduced the mutant population so drastically.
But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. Well, like, what about you?
Oh yeah, we will for WandaVision.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm watching it. I kept my Disney Plus specifically for these Marvel shows. It was for season 7 of Star Wars and the Marvel shows. That was the main reason I kept my Disney.